Hey everybody, welcome to the Taste Pod TV. I'm Tony Brewski. Today it's all about the barbecue ribs. That's my best impression of a real true barbecuer at heart. I myself like doing it every now and then, but I'm by no means professional. When you do this recipe, you can have your friends and your family going, wow, you really know how to barbecue. And it's so simple. I'm going to show you how. It's the morning before our big barbecue rib feast, and to get things started, we of course need to get our ribs marinated. We got a nice big slab here I got cut from our butcher. I'm using pork ribs. What we're going to do here to begin with is simply marinate them. Now we're not talking about making some real fancy schmancy marinade here. My marinade is simply cherry cola, or I'm using cherry Coca-Cola. You can use a generic brand or whatever your preferred brand is for drinking. So basically you get your ribs here and you get them into a nice holder of some sort that will preferably fit the actual slab of ribs. I have the biggest problem of actually finding a container or something to marinate my ribs in that are actually the size of the ribs, so sometimes you gotta get a little bit creative. And when you marinate the ribs, you want to put the top side, the meat side, down into the pan, not facing up, because that's where they're going to get the most marinade, especially if your marinade is not going to be covering the entire bowl. Ours is, but sometimes you run low. You want to get that meat marinated, not just the back ends or those bones. You want to get the actual meat that you're going to be eating marinated. So we got it all here shaped in our pan. Sometimes you got to get a little fancy with how you're going to arrange this. It's not just going to go straight across because it probably won't fit. Our next step is to get our marinade in there. What we're going to do here with this, we're using cherry Coke. And it's important to use a cherry cola of some sort because our ribs here today, our barbecue sauce, I'm going to show you how to make in just a bit, is cherry based. It's going to have a real nice, sweet, smoky cherry flavor to it. Almost as if you did it over like some sort of cherry wood. We're just going to use a regular gas grill for this. It's going to have all the aromas and all those flavors as if you just were doing it professionally in some big giant smoker or cherry wood barbecue. So we take our cherry cola here and just pour that right into the baking dish that we're going to let these marinate in all throughout the day. You want to get that good and covered. So we're probably going to use an entire 2 liters. So when you're doing this, you can't just buy like 1 or 2 cans of cherry cola. You probably do need to buy the entire 2 liter. And you're going to use the whole thing because you want to get this thing as covered up as much as you possibly can. If you don't get it 100% covered, like I'm not, there's no way I'm going to get these edges here completely covered. My bowl is not high enough. Don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. If you can cover it though, all the better. So we get our ribs in our fridge. Then we'll get going on our barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce is one of those things you can get really creative with and add your own flavor to it, your own kick, make it your own signature sauce. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that today. We're going to start out by getting all the ingredients that we need lined up on the counter for us so we can easily access them as we make the barbecue sauce. So to get our barbecue sauce going, we start out with a nice pan that's hot. It's got some olive oil in there, just a little bit, because we're going to put some garlic in there. We're just going to get that garlic browned. So get it spread out in there into that hot oil. Depending on how finely chopped you got it, it'll only take a couple of seconds to get that brown. Then, into the barbecue sauce mixture that we're making. This is what I like to do. This is my little signature secret ingredient. And I like to use dark, sweet cherries. And you can buy them fresh and pick them yourself when they're in season. If not, you can always go over to the freezer section and get hooked up with them just like this. And they work just as well, especially for a barbecue sauce. We're just going to pour those in there. Just like that. Don't worry about mashing them up too much or anything like that. You kind of want these to be whole as much as you can because they're going to have that nice big chunky texture. They're going to kind of get broken down in the sauce itself once it gets cooking a little bit more. But it's always fun when you plate this and you have the cherries all kind of big chunked and in pieces right on top of those ribs with that barbecue sauce. Makes a really awesome presentation. So we're going to get those in there. I'm going to get those sauteing for just a little bit. So we're going to keep that heat on a medium and let those sit on the stove for probably about 5 to 10 minutes or so. All right, we got our cherries all nice and heated up here and kind of simmering with that garlic. Now we're going to add in the other ingredients that really make barbecue sauce barbecue sauce. And the first ingredient that is simple apple cider vinegar. We're going to add about a cup or so right into the mixture, just like that. Now, a lot of it is going to get cooked right out of it, so you're going to have that, real pungent flavor right away if you're going to taste it right now, and you're going to have basically just that vinegar flavor overpowering everything, but keep in mind, it does get cooked out. So on top of that, we're also going to add a little Worcestershire sauce, about a tablespoon or two, depending on your flavor preference. That's, like I said before, one of the best things about making barbecue sauce is you can do it to exactly your liking. I like to add a little balsamic vinegar too. Adds a nice little depth to it, more so than just the apple cider vinegar. Maybe just a little bit more than that. That's another item that when it gets cooked down like it will in this barbecue sauce, just really explodes the flavor. Top of that, I'm also going to add a little bit of soy sauce to this too. You have so many flavors going on here. Soy sauce is a really good ingredient to meld those flavors together. So you don't have one way over here and one way over there, and people are like, what on earth is going on with this sauce? The soy sauce really does a great job of breaking it all together. Alright, on top of that, we're going to add a little liquid smoke. Now with liquid smoke, you want to be careful because you add too much liquid smoke and you're going to have people literally coughing. People always say, well, why do you use liquid smoke? Why don't you just actually smoke whatever you're doing? And you can certainly do that if you have a smoker, but a lot of folks, especially if you're in the city or something, you don't have access to a smoker. And liquid smoke, actually, it's not some sort of chemical compound. It's actually the actual water and condensation of actual smoke that gets collected and then bottled. That is exactly what liquid smoke is. It is literally the condensation from smoke. On top of this, we're going to add some brown sugar. Depending on how sweet you like your sauce, that is up to you. I'm going to do about a cup or so of brown sugar to our mixture. And then on top of that, to get our kind of creamy texture that we want, a little bit thicker texture, we're going to add some ketchup. And probably about a cup or so of ketchup is what is needed for our barbecue sauce. Get all those ingredients in there at the same time. Add a little salt and pepper. Get it seasoned up a little bit. And get that stirred around again. And then once again, we got this on the burner at about medium heat. We're going to let it sit here and simmer for probably about another 10 minutes or so. Let this reduce down a little bit. Get those flavors all pushed together. Take a little taste, and then see what we need to add. A lot of times, once I got it simmered down and we do the taste, if there's one flavor that's overpowering something, I don't necessarily go to its opposite ingredient to even it out. I actually usually add a little bit more soy sauce because that will do the same trick of evening out those flavors. Alright, our barbecue sauce has been sitting here cooking up for about 10-15 minutes or so. Lots of those flavors getting all melded together. Now it's time for the best part. We get to take a taste. That is good. It's got all that cherry flavor in there that we added. Plus, you taste the brown sugar, you taste the smokiness, you taste all those flavors that make barbecue, like the vinegar and the balsamic vinegar and the Worcestershire, that have all really opened up in flavor, so they're not too strong anymore, just really smooth and all really melded together, really nice. That is going to be awesome on our ribs, and we're going to show you to make those coming up next. When you put the ribs on the grill, you don't want to just put them right there on top of the burner or on top of the coals, because you're going to burn half your ribs right away and the other half isn't even going to be cooked whatsoever. So just find a little cookie sheet or something like that and put them right on there. Just like that. Try and get it as evenly on there as you possibly can. And then we'll put our little first round of barbecue sauce on. We don't want to overdo it right away because a lot of it is just going to cook off or drip off, but we do want to get some of the flavor starting to meld right into the ribs. So we're going to take a check on our ribs. They've been in here now for about a half hour or so. Let's see exactly what they're looking like. Alright, our ribs are off the grill. Had them resting for about 5 minutes or so. You want to get this so the meat isn't too pulley or too stringy right when you cut into it when it's so super hot still. So we got them out here resting on the pan. Let's cut into one of these and see exactly what we got for some good eats here. Really just cooked very nicely, very evenly, not overcooked. Has a lot of flavor right in there with our cherry barbecue sauce. Let's cut one of these pieces off here and see exactly what we got in store. Let's dig in. So much flavor in there. Got the barbecue, got the cherry, got the smokiness. It is awesome. There you go, cherry, baby back, barbecued ribs. The recipe is on thetastespot.com. I'm Tony Bruschi. Thanks for watching.